In the history of Strictly, I think it's been going over 20 years or whatever, nobody's mother has ever invaded the pitch, but she like pushed it, like Tess and Claude out the way, and she's like grabbing me and I'm in a bit of a headlock, and it's just like there's no kind of discipline whatsoever. Hello, I am Stacey Dooley. I am the author of Are You Really Okay? And I am here today to react to some of my iconic moments. I must be mad.
Hi, Stacey.
Celebrity Baker.
Right,
Yeah.
Stacey, tell us all about
This was a car crash.
So this is going to be magnificent. You're not going to believe it.
It's so shit. This was so bad. It was so bad. I'd even managed to, halfway through, change the language on the oven. So not only do I not know what I'm doing in terms of making the biscuits, I now don't know how to use this oven because I think I'd changed the language to German or something like that.
All over the place. It's
Yeah.
not sort of uniformed in any way.
No.
No.
Can you tell us?
But I ran out of time, so...
Prue can't believe her eyes.
This was going to be the teacup.
You've left the mould on.
I was hoping you wouldn't see
Well,
that.
you tried.
The biscuit tastes good. It's a nice traditional biscuit.
Prue went, you tried.
And the meringue's good.
It does depict Gloria Estefan.
Do you know what's hilarious? Is Gloria Estefan watched this and she sent me a message and she was like, Stacey, and she was such a good sport. She was like, oh, Stacey, I hope I tasted as good as I looked. You know, she was a real sweetheart about the whole thing. And Matt Lucas was so jokes because he said it looked like him in a caftan on holiday. Yeah, it's all for charity. No, I haven't baked since. You'll be shocked to hear. Okay. Oh, yes. Go. Yes, my goodness me. This was one of the oddest days of my life. We wanted to hear from one of the groups because we wanted to hear what they had to say in terms of their justification for kneecapping. And I cannot tell you, these conversations went on for weeks and weeks, and it was like, you can come, no you can't come, you need to leave your phone in the cafe down the road so we know that you're not bugged, we have to meet at a certain car park at a certain time. Then it was like, you can travel in your own vehicle, no you can't, you have to get in the back of our van. And we ended up getting in, just me and my director, no phones, one camera. We ended getting up in the back of an unmarked van with a man that we'd never met before. We don't know where he took us. It was like an undisclosed location. He opened the van. We're in this warehouse. We don't know whether we're sort of north or south of the border. And we meet these men who were involved in the kneecapping. We had sort of surrendered so much of our power, but it was the only way to get the interview. I don't know how I'm doing this for a living.
Have a chat and get out.
I can't believe I did this.
Wild.
They feel like there is no alternative, there is no other option. Of course, the opposing side would say otherwise. But I've learned, I think my approach has matured over the years. I think at the start of my career, I was much more reactive and much and now I'm a bit more measured and a bit calmer. Even if I like fundamentally disagree with the person sat in front of me, I will listen to what it is that they're saying. Otherwise, what's the point of being there? Oh, this is Sleeps Over. I arrive at a family home on the Friday and then I spend the whole weekend with them and then I leave on the Monday. And the hope is that I leave with sort of greater understanding of why they choose to live the way that they do.
But that's life.
Yeah, no,
It's unfair. It is unfair, though, isn't it?
Yeah, Hoka was...
But life is unfair.
Yeah, no, I accept that.
Yeah.
If you've got it in you.
But life is unfair. Oh, well, let's not challenge it then. Let's just carry on the way we're going. This is another good example, though, of hanging out with people that you don't always see eye to eye with, because actually, whilst that was the granny talking, her take on it was, well, you know, life's unfair. You know, what are you going to do? You can't moan. You know, this is how it is. And my argument was, well, do we not want to look at that and perhaps put things in place to make sure that the gap becomes smaller between the haves and the have-nots? But We also had a lot in common, and actually I really enjoyed their company some of the time. And so I think this is what we don't do enough of. I think we're so tribal and we only hang out with people that read the same as us and vote the same as us, and then we're outraged when somebody outside of our echo chamber says something. But this was a really funny night, I remember. I remember exactly what went on.
In your genes, why does everybody have to dumb down? Everybody surely wants the best. What's wrong with it? It's been the same since Abraham and Isaac.
We feel we're no different from anybody.
The unique thing about sleeps over as a premise is that you're staying over, you genuinely sleep over. So if you have to have quite a robust conversation, you've also got to ask them how their shower works an hour later and like sleep in the bed next to them. And people always say, do you really sleep over? Like they think I go to a Holiday Inn down the road, but I really genuinely stay over. This is when I was in South Korea, Hotel Spycams. This was really interesting. Mulca. Most of the cameras that Sun Ho-young finds are hidden in motel rooms. So everything you see on this bed has the potential to film you surreptitiously. So you have absolutely no idea. I really loved South Korea actually. I hadn't been prior to this documentary. And I learned a huge amount, but it was well received because actually, it was the idea that we were, how tiny cameras, you can buy a camera and it can be that big and it's in a really sort of planted in a really sort of inconspicuous way. And then, the idea that, people were being filmed without given consent, it was just really an interesting territory to explore. We also met somebody who was explaining that there was a phase of putting some of these tiny cameras in public toilets, and so I remember every time I went for a wee I was thinking, I don't know if I'm being filmed. And that's the awful thing, like that is such a kind of, it's so invasive, isn't it? It's such an intrusion on your privacy. So I think we were right to make a documentary about Mulca and have these kinds of conversations.
From the movie
So low.
Stacey Dooley.
Do you know, I think if I was forced to, I think I could do it now. Once it's in, it's in. Kev, state Kev. He had like a faux extension because he had to have all the hair gelled down and then a little bit stood up. So he had this like faux bit of hair, I remember. A pair of us would look stunning. I'm struggles here. I was so unfit. About 30 seconds in, I'm struggling for air. And I had like a coat hanger sort of sellotaped to my head to make sure that the bunches would stay erect. So I had this like wire on my head whilst trying to figure out how to jive. I wouldn't say Minions was my fave. It was a fun one to do because it was so daft, and the kids loved it, and we had loads of videos the following week of all the kids, joining in at home, and that's always sort of very heartwarming. But my fave dance was probably, my top three were Paso, Charleston, Foxtrot. They were good.
Stacey
Kev's on his knees. Oh my word. So I've only watched this back a couple of times, but it's total chaos. We won. And then you'll see my mum, she sort of like invades the pitch. Like in the history of Strictly, I think it's been going over 20 years or whatever, nobody's mother has ever invaded the pitch, but she like pushed it, like Tess and Claudia out the way, and she's like grabbing me and I'm in a bit of a headlock, and it's just like there's no kind of discipline whatsoever, and you can see Claudia's trying to pull me out. Oh, how lovely. Bloody won it. Yeah, had a great time. It's one of the best things I've ever done. It's like being on a massive school trip. It's wicked. you know, I suppose as well because work typically for me is normally quite heavy and quite serious, as it should be. So this for me was just total escapism and all just, you know, I was just going to a dance studio and just learning to dance and just sort of hanging out and playing music all day. And you're surrounded by really brilliant people and there's a real sense of camaraderie. And then on the Saturday night, like 12 million people are watching. It's like you're just playing. And then you're there for like 4 months, just living your best life. Well, obviously, I'm the kind of cliche that fell for my dance partner, so we now live together. But Kev's not asked. Kev will only dance if he's being paid. So he'll entertain me for about 20, 30 seconds and then that's my lot. So I don't dance, no. Well, I have made so many documentaries. Like I say, I started when I was 19, 20 and I'm 35 in March. So you never forget anyone, but sometimes, you know, you'll be reminded of a situation or you'll come across the producer that you worked with 10 years ago and you go, oh, wasn't that incredible, wasn't that crazy? So it never takes too long to dig in and fish it out. But I love making documentaries and I've been able to travel. You know what I mean? I've met so many interesting individuals. It's been pretty brilliant, yeah. 15 years, not mad. Thank you ever so much for watching. You can buy Are You Really OK? By just clicking the link below. And also if you want to see more videos similar to this, you can subscribe over here to Penguin.